Welcome back. President Obama was supposed to be in Ohio today before canceling his visit due to Hurricane Sandy and the damage caused. Well, despite being off the trail for the last 3 days, the latest poll of Ohio voters gives the president a 5-point edge, and it seems to show growing optimism about the economy among white working-class voters, and that could be the reason that we're seeing him hang on to the lead there. Now, our First Read team also notes, quote, if you look at the campaign's body language, it's hard not to conclude that Romney's folks believe they are behind, at least when it comes to Ohio. And if they believe Ohio is the be-all, end-all, then they are behind. Let me bring in NBC News senior political editor Mark Murray. Mark, before we talk about that poll, I want to play what Vice President Joe Biden just said today regarding this car ad or this auto ad that's been running, brought to you by the Romney campaign. It's been called misleading. It's being slammed now by GM and Chrysler. Let me play it.
They're running the most scurrilous ad in Ohio. And I mean this sincerely. I want you to listen. One of the most flagrantly dishonest ads I can ever remember in my political career.
So, Mark, Greg Martin, a spokesperson for GM, says the ad is cynical campaign politics at its worst. The Chrysler executive also goes on to say that it is just unequivocal, that it is completely untrue, to surmise the statement here in front of me. But this is about Ohio. That ad is about Ohio, and President Obama still leads in Ohio.
Well, the pushback that you're seeing from General Motors as well as Chrysler is pretty extraordinary in a presidential campaign where you're having major companies basically say that one campaign is being inaccurate in its TV ads. And Tamron, as you just mentioned, this has to do everything with Ohio. This has all to do with the auto bailout. And one of the reasons why President Obama is doing much better with white voters in Ohio than he might be in places in the South, maybe even battlegrounds like in Virginia and Florida, has to do with the auto bailout and getting the support from a lot of people whose jobs are tied to the auto industry. One other thing benefiting President Obama also has to do with the fact that labor and the politics of labor have been very big flashpoints in the last couple of years in the Midwest, in Ohio, in Wisconsin. And so a lot of people, particularly white members who are union members, would be more apt to support President Obama than you would see from white people in other parts of the country.
And Mark, I kind of garbled what the Chrysler chief said, but the bottom line, he says that it is inaccurate to suggest anything different that regarding an alleged move to China, as the ad and comments that were made by Governor Romney last week suggest. With this heavy pushback from GM and Chrysler, do you think that the Romney campaign anticipated this at all? And why continue to defend this ad and not pull it down?
I have no idea whether they anticipated that they would get this kind of pushback. But as we wrote and you just mentioned, the body language to having to resort to this type of ad seemed to be that they were looking for some type of game changer. If you're up and that you're tracking by 3, 4, 5 points, you don't run an ad that's like that, trying to really change the conversation, trying to muddy the waters. That's something that you typically do when you're behind. Now, the Romney campaign insists to me that, look, we feel like we're in a very good position in Ohio. We're within striking distance. But those polls that came out today show President Obama with a 5-point lead. Some have actually had it smaller.
Right. And quickly, nearly half of all white Ohio voters without college degrees say the economy is improving. And according to the polls, most give President Obama some credit for that.
What we're actually seeing is that people who are going to be voting for President Obama or supporting him in polls right now seem to be much more optimistic and bullish on the state of the economy. If you're a Romney voter or you're leaning towards Romney in the polls, you probably have the opposite view. That's what we're probably going to see in the exit polls come November 6th.
All right. Thank you very much, Mark. Greatly appreciate it.